Happy spooky season, my little pumpkins, my little dancing skeletons. I just think this is so cute. It's time. I'm gonna try and read 31 spooky books in 31 days. Not off to a great start. I'll just tell you guys that right now. Next weekend, there will be a much bigger update. Let's just say that. So what this project is I just like to challenge myself to do this. 31 days in October. Don't look at that. 31 days in October and 30 days in June or April every year. And it's fun. And it's especially fun during spooky season because I buy so many horror, mystery, not really suspense, but like those kinds of books during the year, and I don't have time to read them all. And then all of a sudden October comes around and I can read every single one of them. It's so great. So what I like to do during this is, instead of doing a big wrap up at the end, I sort of like to bring you with me and talk about all of the books as I go once a week. It is the 4th of October. I should have finished 4 books by now. I have finished 1. Here's what's going on. On the first day of October, first off, for this, I'm not counting DNFs unless I get over 50% of the way through the book. First book of October was In the Pines by Mariah Stillbrook. I am reading it on my Kindle. Here's the cover. It's a gorgeous cover. I was actually really excited to read this. It was a book club pick for one of my book clubs, and I'd never heard of it before. I had to buy it on Kindle. I didn't want to buy the paperback because no library system in Arizona has it. I looked on Goodreads and it turns out it's because no one's read it. It has 44 reviews and like under like 68 ratings. And I can't prove this, but if you read the reviews on it, it kind of sounds like a lot of the people know her. It really has not been read. I was hoping that it would be great so I could like find this hidden gem, or not find it because that wasn't my pick, but you know, like tell people there's this great book that no one's read, read it. But it's alas, it's not a great book. I knew after reading the prologue that I would not like it. I ended up today getting to page 25 before throwing in the towel. I was like, this isn't going to get better, but I did end up skim reading the rest of it, like speed reading it for key plot points because I was curious about how things were going to turn out. With that said, I am going to rate this one, but I'm not going to count it as one of my 31. I'm giving it a 2 because I like the ideas. The writing was really amateurish, so many adjectives, dialogue that doesn't sound human, like just so much debut author nonsense. I don't know. She's got like 4 other books published since this was written, and I don't know if they're any better. They don't look better. The covers are not good, and this has a good cover, but it's not good. So I don't know. I probably will not be reading further from her. But it's sad because this was supposed to be a witchy book about a family curse and ghosts, and I think one of the reviews said there was time travel in it, but honestly, don't bother checking it out. Unless you like really, really overblown, melodramatic, overly adjectived writing, then you might like it. Alas, that was book 1, so I don't even have a book 1 actually. And then on the 2nd, I started a book I'm not finished with, and that is Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. I love this edition. I want all of her books in these editions. I love it so much. I like to have pretty editions of books, and I wanted this version, and I looked everywhere for it, and I could not find it. I don't know where or when this was published. That is my favorite cover, but I took this as a close second. Anyway, this is by Daphne du Maurier. This is a Gothic classic. It was written in 1936, and it was actually, she said it's historical fiction because she said it in the 1800s, and it's about this main character named Mary. What's her name? Mary Yellen, whose mother has recently died, and she has come to live with her aunt because that's what her mother wanted, and her aunt is married to the owner of the Jamaica Inn, and when she gets there, he's not great, and her aunt's not in great shape, and they live on the moors, and nobody's there, and it's very creepy and gothic. I am 62 pages in. This is taking me a lot longer than I thought it would, although I did hit my stride this morning, and then I got interrupted by having to do something, and then I couldn't get back into it. But I think I'm going to try and finish this in the next book I'm going to talk about tomorrow, both of them. So I don't get, you know, what am I going to do? I have nothing to do tomorrow. So I'll just do that. And then I did start and finish. I started it last night and I finished it this afternoon. I started Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie, which is Miss Marple's last case. I have yet to make it through all the Marples. I mean, I'm reading them way out of order. I think I have like 4 more maybe, but now I've read the last one. So, but it doesn't matter. You can read them out of order. There are some recurring characters, but they have no relevance to the plot. Like, you could forget them from book to book and you'd be okay. This one is one of my favorite Agatha Christie's I've read. For those of you who are wary of her period-appropriate racism, sometimes anti-Semitism, but, you know, just 1930s stuff. I don't think it was problematic at all. Anyway, I don't really care about that when reading her books. I know going in they're going to be full of some weird stuff because they were written 100 years ago or whatever. But this one was fun, which I've only seen her do this twice, and actually both were books I read this year, and they're the only Christies I've read this year. So that's a weird coincidence, and I had no idea that they were the only 2 of her books that solve a murder that happened in the past, like decades before. I don't want to say too much, but this book, the 2 main characters are Miss Marple, but she gets pulled in. Actually, there's a lot more of her in this one than there have been in many of the others I've read. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. The other main character, her name is... I just read an entire book with her for 8 hours. What's her freaking name? Here's her name. She has just moved back from... Okay, I missed this part. She's just moved back to England. And she and her husband want a house. They want to buy a house, but her husband isn't there yet. So I think that maybe they're moving from Australia or New Zealand. I can't remember. I know she grew up in New Zealand after the death of her parents. But anyway, they buy this house. She says it feels like home. She loves it. It's perfect. And then she starts having these weird moments of like deja vu, or like knowing what wallpaper is going to be underneath another layer of wallpaper before she even sees it, and knowing that there's a door where there's no door and there used to be one. They happen to meet Miss Marple when she's going through this, and Miss Marple tells her, well, did you ever think, dear, that you might have lived there before? And then so that opens this whole can of worms. They discover that there was a disappearance, which becomes a murder. The title of the book refers to a phrase that Miss Marple uses where she tells them that they shouldn't investigate, they should just let sleeping murder lie. With that said, I really liked this one. I think it's in my top 10, maybe, of all of the Christies that I've read. So that is book 1 out of 31 that I have finished. And then I started another book today. No, I started 2 other books today. This is the first one. This is Don't Let the Forest In. I am like 50 pages in. I could have finished this whole thing today, but instead, what did I do? Well, I was reading. I was listening to an audiobook while playing phone games. And when one audiobook finished, I started another. That's what I did today instead of physically reading. Don't download phone games, guys. It's a terrible cycle, because what happens is they play you ads for other games, and then you download those games, and then they play you ads for those games and you download them, and then sometimes the ads are playable, and so you really have to you know what? It's just a whole thing. So that's what I was doing today. But this is Don't Let the Forest In. It's a young adult horror / romance-ish, I think. I don't know if it's going to end happy. But everyone read this last year and really liked it. It is queer. I believe one of the boys is asexual-ish. Am I making that up? I think so. Takes place at a boarding school, so it's fun. I'm not very far in, so I'll give you more of an update next week once I finished it. And then I started my annual tradition of reading the next Blanche White book by Barbara Neely, and this year it is Blanche Cleans Up. And this book so far is the horniest one yet. I kind of can't even believe it. Like, where was this energy in the last 2 books, Barbara? What's going on? Just, look away for 30 seconds if you don't want to hear about things. But she's talking about, she's doing a job for a cousin's friend, where she's subbing in, being this person's like head housekeeper or something. This is 1998, by the way. So it's in the South, and these people are living it like 100 years in the past, basically, with their habits. She's there, and just so happens that the owner of the house, or his son, I can't remember which one, is running for office, and she's just so nosy. She's listening in and making judgments about all of them. And one of them, she says that he's the kind of guy that probably has a... And I just censored that, so you're not going to know what I said. But she said every man she's ever seen with a has just... What was it that she said? I immediately blocked it from my memory, but it was vulgar. And then she goes on to talk about with another maid, like some print. I was like, what is happening right now? Blanche, do you need something, Blanche? Wait, did she have a love interest in the previous 2 books? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I'm having a good time. I'm sad there's only one more of these books to go. Again, I'll give you more thoughts next week. Also, next week and the 4 weeks following this one, it's going to be a little bit of a different format. I'm going to start with the books that I have finished, and then I will end with the books that I started but haven't finished yet. This is a very short video. Aren't you proud of me? I think it's going to do terrible in the algorithm because YouTube apparently has been punishing short videos lately, unless you're doing a short, and I don't want to do shorts. Anyway, who cares? Happy spooky season, y'all. I hope yours is going well so far, and thanks for watching. If you don't have anything to say about any of these very few books that I talked about in this very short video, then please leave me a hotel or an inn or something, or maybe the ocean or a cliff. I don't know, some sort of a like Moorish thing for the Moors in Cornwall. Leave me a, do they have, no, they don't have a Cornish pasty. Whatever, who cares? Just leave me whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. Who cares? Shut up, Ashley. I'm posting a video also on Tuesday or Wednesday. Depends on, I've got a unboxing book haul coming on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when the last book gets here. So be ready for that. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, love you, bye.